We are back together again. It's lovely to see you here as well. It is nice to have so many people waiting for the start of today's English Addict, coming to you live and direct from the birthplace of the English language. We all know where it is. Of course, it is England. It's good to be back with you today. Hi everybody, this is Mr. Duncan in England. How are you today? Are you okay? I hope so. Are you happy? Do you have one of these on your face? Is there a particular reason why you might not be smiling today? Well, I hope over the next 2 hours I will be able to put a smile on your face. Turn that frown upside down and please join me. It would be lovely to have you all here today, live on English Addict. I don't know why, but this morning I could not wake up. I found it very hard to open my eyes. Sometimes that happens. I think sometimes if you have a very good sleep, if you sleep calmly, a solid sleep. Oh, I like that phrase. To have a solid sleep means you sleep right through the night without any disturbances. But this morning I woke up and I just felt so drowsy. It took a very long time for me to get out of bed today. That's all I can say. Anyway, enough of that. My name is Mr. Duncan. That's me, by the way. And I live in England. Some people say that England is a very interesting place. A lot of people would love to come to England, and hopefully one day you will have the chance if you are not already here. I know that I have a lot of people watching in England. Most of you, of course, are a little bit shy. You watch, but you never say anything on a live chat. Today, I would like to put that right. Please, if you want to say hello, and if you are watching in England at the moment, please say, "Hello, Mr. Duncan. I am watching in England. This is where I am." And maybe if you want to, you can say, "I'm watching in London. I'm watching in Manchester. I'm watching in Much Wenlock." Really? Are you? Are you one of my neighbours? Perhaps you are one of my neighbours, secretly watching me, wondering what this is all about. Apparently, I am well known in the local area for various reasons. I am the strange guy who walks around with a camera. I remember when we first moved here, there were a few worried people living around this area. They did not know who I was or what I did, because they would often see me walking around with a camera in my hand, and quite a few people became a little bit suspicious. They were wondering why I was always walking around with a camera in my hand. But of course now most people realise I am just a crazy person who likes going on YouTube. So now most people are aware of that. But just in case you are one of my neighbours, hello, it's me. Yeah, that guy. The guy you keep seeing walking around, talking to himself. That's me. Thank you for joining me today. We also have, not just me, of course, it is also the other guy. I will give you your Now, I want to say warning. I'm not sure if it is a warning or if it is just giving you some time to prepare yourselves. We have Mr. Steve coming up a little bit later on. He will be in his cosy corner joining us today. We have a few things to talk about. We will, of course, be talking about what Mr. Steve has been doing this week. He's had a very busy week, actually. Also, we have had a couple of problems here. I don't normally talk about my problems, but today we are going to discuss two problems. Two of our electrical devices have broken. The first one broke just after Christmas, and the other one broke last week. So now we have two things in the house that no longer work. Unfortunately, they just happen to be things that we really need, things that help us to do things in our life. I wonder if you can guess what they are. So two things at the moment in the house have broken. We've managed to replace one of those things, so one of those things has been replaced, but the other thing is broken. We have nothing to replace it with. If you replace something, it means you change that thing for something else. You might put something new in place of something old. You replace something. So to replace is to put something new or something different in another thing's position. You take that away and you put something else there. You replace that thing. So there are two things that have broken, electrical things, things that you might describe as labour saving. If we describe something as labour saving, it means it saves you time and effort, things that make your life easier. Hello to the live chat. I will give you the answers in a moment as to what has broken. The live chat is here. Oh, very interesting. It would appear we have a new champion. Beatrice, once again. Your finger is very fast. You are first on today's live chat. It is lovely to see you here today. I hope you are feeling much better because I know you have been under the weather. You haven't been feeling very well, but I hope everything is slowly returning to normal. I hope you are on the mend. If we say that someone is on the mend, it means they are getting better. So I hope, Beatrice, you are on the mend. I hope you are feeling much better. In second place, we have Vitas. Hello, Vitas. Nice to see you here as well. Flower is here. Hello, Flower. Nice to see you back with us today. And also we have Palmyra. Maruzio is here as well. Kalu. Hello, Kalu. Kalu Creation is here. Thank you very much for joining me. I made the mistake of eating a piece of Mr. Steve's new bread because every Sunday we always make a new loaf of bread. Unfortunately today Mr. Steve has put lots of seeds in the bread and now they are all stuck in my teeth, which is very annoying. Christina is here. Do you have solar panels on your house? We don't. No. However, many people round here, if my neighbours are watching, I've noticed that you have all started putting solar panels on the roof and also at the side and in the gardens around where we live. So a lot of people have put solar panels on their houses around here. We have not. Who else is here? Oh, very nice. He is here, everyone. It is so nice to say that Luis Mendez is here today. Hello, Luis. Nice to see you here as well. Thank you very much for joining me on this Sunday, the 19th of January already. How can we be 19 days into the new year already? 2025 seems to be going by very fast, by the way. Happy New Year. Is it too late to say that? I think really 2 weeks, the first 2 weeks of the new year, you can say Happy New Year. But after that, that's it. You can't say it. So this will be the last time that I say Happy New Year for 2025. That's the last time. The last time I'm going to say it this year. The next time I say it, it will be 2026. That will be the next time. Can I say also hello to Duk Hung? Duk Hung English. I believe you are watching in Vietnam. Of course, a very big event coming up at the end of this month because it is the Lunar New Year. So in many countries around the world, the Lunar New Year is celebrated. They often refer to it as the Chinese New Year in China, but also in Vietnam they call it Tet as well. So have a happy Tet if you are watching in Vietnam, and that is happening on the 29th of January. Guess what? I am with you on that day. So I will be live on the Lunar New Year Day. Just to let you know, I will be actually here. Hamza is here. It's nice to see you. Hello, Zudzika. Hello, WD Hassoon. Hello, nice to see you here as well. Mona is here. I want to know if there is anyone watching in England feeling brave. Come on, say hello. Say hello, Mr. Duncan. I'm watching in England. Please let me know where you are. Henry. Hello, Henry. Henry Vargas. Hello, Mr. Duncan. I am living in Malta, installing solar panels. Well, I would say that is a pretty good place to do it. One of the reasons why I would never have solar panels on my roof is because, well, first of all, they are very expensive, incredibly expensive. And also, we live in England. We don't get much sunlight. We have summer, and if we are very lucky, we might have a few days of sunlight. But really, because we live in England, we don't get much sunshine. Certainly not long periods of sunlight. So Henry installs solar panels. I came here because I have been learning English with you for about 1 year. How is it going? Is it going well? Are my English lessons helping you, Henry? I hope they are. I really do. Finally, we will say hello to Inaki. Hello, Inaki. It's nice to see you here as well. No, I don't think there is any point putting solar panels on the house here in England. I don't think we have enough sunlight. Although some people do say that you don't need to have lots of sunlight, so that the sunlight or the light will be absorbed anyway. So maybe I'm misunderstanding the whole concept of having solar panels. Oh, apparently Henry has been watching for 10 years. That's amazing. So since 2014, you've been watching. That's incredible. Thank you, Henry. And I have received a lot of lovely messages this week from many people around the world saying how much they are enjoying my new easy lessons, also my new short English lessons, and of course my live streams. So you have many opportunities to learn English. But I think it's very exciting to have this live. You can actually chat live every Sunday and Wednesday. Omer. Hello, Omer. Hi, Mr. Duncan. My English has improved because of you. Thank you very much. From Sudan. Hello, Sudan. I know I have a lot of people watching in Sudan. So can I say a big hello to you, Omer? I am here for the first time. So we are getting lots of messages now coming through saying thank you for your lovely messages. Thank you. I'm here and I consider you to be a full English teacher. Thank you, Wai Ling. Thank you very much. I want to learn English, says Ritesh. Well, all I can say, first, you are in the best place for it. Claudia is here, but only for a short time because Claudia has things to do. Some people have very busy Sundays. Other people like to relax on Sunday. Can you guess how I spend my Sunday? My Sunday is spent here, preparing this for you. Have a good lunch, and yes, I hope to see you very soon, Claudia. Monte is here. Hello, Monte. I am watching from Italy. Hello, Monte. Well, guess what? We were in Italy last year with our English Addict Rendezvous. Can I say a big thank you now? I am always pleased to hear from you. And of course, some of you also like to send your donations as well. Can I say a big hello to Dorothy in Germany for your lovely donation that I received last week? Thank you very much. All of these donations will help towards my work. Everything I do here, I do for free. Thank you, Dorothy, very much for your lovely donation and also your lovely greeting for 2025. Thank you very much. It's very kind of you. Giovanni, you have been very busy replying to my videos, I've noticed. Giovanni, hello Mr. Duncan. I hope you are doing fine, and hello to all the English addicts. Have you installed a new monitor down there, Mr. Duncan? I haven't. No, I haven't installed a new monitor. I don't know where it is, where you think it is, but I haven't, no. However, we have had some problems. We've had one or two problems with some of the things in the kitchen. Two things that we use all the time in the kitchen have both broken. It's very annoying. One thing in particular is really annoying because I used to do it in the machine, but now I have to do it by myself. Can you guess what it is? Something very important in the kitchen has broken. I'm sure we will be talking about this in a few moments with Mr. Steve. I have a feeling we will. Hello also to... who else is here? I've said already... oh yes, I've said hello to Christina. Solar panels are able to produce energy even in indirect light. Well, I've heard this, but from my point of view, it always seems as if it is much better to have solar power if you live in a hot, bright, sunny country. It's just my feeling. I have a feeling that Mr. Steve has a lot of things to say about that. Maybe even too much. So all of that coming up in a few moments. Monte says, Mr. Duncan, is your kettle broken? The kettle that you use for boiling water. Fortunately, that is okay. That is not broken. Christina says, what about your coffee maker? The coffee maker, well, we don't have one. We don't have a coffee maker. The coffee maker in this house is me. And apparently I make very good coffee. If you ever get the chance to have one of my cups of coffee, I can tell you now you are in for a very big treat. Mr. Steve will be with us in a few moments from now. Yes, he is here today. He's actually been out for a walk. So he actually disappeared about 1 hour ago. Steve went out of the house. I don't even know if he's back yet. Maybe he hasn't returned. Maybe he's still outside somewhere, walking around. We will find out in a few moments because Mr. Steve will be with us. We are also looking at words and phrases connected to stand, sit, lie, and lean. We are talking about those words and all the phrases connected to them a little bit later on. A lot of things to do on this Sunday. I hope you will keep it right here. This is English Addict, and yes, Mr. Steve is on his way. English Addict is with you today. I hope you are having a good Sunday. I hope your Sunday is going as well as it possibly can. I have a feeling that your Sunday is about to get incredibly amazing, wonderful, fantastic even, because he is here. Yes, he's back with us once again, looking very shiny, looking very bright and comfortable in the studio. In his comfortable corner, it is, of course, the one, the only, Mr. Steve.
Hello, wonderful, beautiful viewers from across the globe. It's lovely to be here again, Mr. Duncan. How are you? How's the first half of the live stream been going?
It's busy.
I went for a walk.
Yeah.
While you were on, and I was hoping to get back in time. Luckily, I did, because we'd run out of beans, baked beans. So there's some information for you. So I thought, I've probably got time to walk into town and get them before I'm due to come on at 2:30. Luckily, I've got back just in time. I'm a bit hot under the collar. Hot under the collar, yes, means I'm a bit stressed. But I'm here, Mr. Duncan, and it's lovely to be here. And I can see so many new viewers making themselves known, Mr. Duncan, on the live stream.
We do have a lot of new people today.
Have you been mentioning their names?
Yes, but you can mention them again because maybe they would be incredibly thrilled.
Omar from Nigeria. Oh, blimey, I can't read my own writing here. Somebody from Uranus. I think that's a joke. Unless we know there's life on other planets in the solar system. Ritesh, Henry, Monte, and Wiley. So welcome to you all. I'm sure there's others. Make yourself known to us. If you're new to this channel, or if you've never put anything on the live chat, now's your chance to do so. Make yourself known. Be brave.
Don't be shy.
Oh, it's nice to be here. Yes, the pillows. I'm feeling very comfortable, Mr. Duncan. I've got pillows all around me. I've got a pillow behind me. I need the comfort at my age.
Yes. Sometimes, you know what happens sometimes? Because it isn't very often I see Steve on the camera. And sometimes when I first see Steve on the camera, I'm almost mesmerised, and I don't know why. I can't take my eyes off Mr. Steve. I have a feeling maybe lots of people out there as well.
Some people have it, Mr. Duncan. Some people do. I'm joking, of course.
Steve, you certainly have it.
I've got something. I won't tell you what it is because you need to go and see a doctor.
Have you had a good week, by the way?
Have I had a good week? Well, you know that, Mr. Duncan. I've been here all the time with you. But let's just humour everybody watching. Yes, I have had a good week, Mr. Duncan. If you take out all the bad bits. I've had a very good week.
You know, for a moment, I thought you were going to share some of those bad bits.
You mean my medical condition?
No, please, Steve. Whatever you do, let's keep it relaxed and laid back today because, of course, a lot of people are talking about one thing in particular. We are not going to talk about it, but tomorrow, of course, big day, apparently, around the world. Something big is happening tomorrow. Someone we knew before is returning to their old job.
Yes. Very exciting.
That's all I'm saying. Some people are happy about it and some people are not so happy. Here, of course, we live in England. So to be honest with you, nothing really ever changes here. So every day it rains, every day it's freezing cold, and every day everything is damp. So I don't think anything here in England will change very much.
Well, we're still in the depths of winter. Giovanni says, how was it for your walk outside? Well, it was muddy, cold and dull. let's just say it's a dull day and the weather's not much better either. No, I'm joking. That's a joke. That's a joke. Of course, there's nothing dull with you and me on the live stream and all our wonderful viewers putting their comments in the live stream.
Although, if what has happened so far is anything to go by, I would say that you might be wrong there. Steve, we had a couple of disasters, didn't we? A couple of disasters in the kitchen.
In the kitchen, yes.
Two things that we use quite often decided to stop working. They decided to break. They went kaput, unfortunately. And one of those things we managed to replace because fortunately, or well, I say fortunately, unfortunately, we have a spare in the garage that your mum used to have, and we replaced that straight away. Of course, that was the microwave oven. I think a lot of people nowadays, Steve, use microwave ovens all the time.
They've been popular for a long time for reheating drinks or baking potatoes.
Yes, or
I
anything.
Think they are commonly used for.
It's you know what I like microwave ovens for? Well, two things. One is the ability to defrost something very quickly. So if you get something out of the freezer and it has to be defrosted, you can put it in the microwave and after a few minutes it will slowly go soft. And of course, reheating a cup of tea after forgetting about it.
Yes, I make you cups of tea, Mr. Duncan, and I come down and it's sitting there cold on the table. But luckily the microwave helps out. People, microwaves came in, didn't they, as they were going to be the solution to all your cooking. You wouldn't need an oven anymore. You could do everything in the microwave. Steve,
over 50 years.
Yes. Well, I remember when my parents got their first microwave, it was very exciting. But of course, what ended up happening is that most people ended up just using it for baking a potato in it. And now, of course, we've got the new rage in the world of cooking is the air fryer.
Yes.
And what do most people end up using that for?
Chips.
But
I think it's where there, Steve. I think the microwave ovens have been around for over 50 years. First of all, I find that amazing. And I remember when they first appeared, and lots of people were actually afraid of them. They didn't want to have them in the house because they believed that they were giving off harmful radio waves. And of course, by the name microwave, there are, of course, waves going around inside, bouncing around at an incredible speed.
Yes.
But some people said that if you stood too close to them, some of your organs or parts of your body will start to cook. But I never heard of anyone actually having that happen to them. I never heard of anyone actually standing too close to a microwave oven and having their kidneys fry.
I have, Mr. Duncan.
Really?
Yes. There have been cases where if the seals on the door are not... there is always, I think, a slight amount of leakage of the radiation. You shouldn't ever stand too close, but if you're more than sort of 3 foot away, I think you don't get anything. But there have been cases, particularly in catering, where the microwave ovens are more powerful, where the seals have gone broken, that people have really died as a result of being exposed because they're maybe just right by them all the time. But I think in a domestic situation, I think that's going to be a very, very low risk. I don't like to stand too close to them.
I have to say, I use microwaves all the time. They are amazing. But of course, nowadays, many people are also using air fryers. So that decided to break during Christmas. Fortunately, we had one in the garage, which used to belong to your lovely late mum. So now we use that, even though it's very annoying because it's hard to use. It has lots of little buttons and lights and numbers, and I don't like it. I don't like things that you have to program or press lots of buttons. And I know you don't like it, Steve, because you hate all technology.
I do. I don't like loud beeps on devices. Every time you press a button, it beeps at you. And we had a very simple microwave. There were just two knobs on it. One was for the power and the other one was just like an old-fashioned timer.
You just turned it.
You just turned it 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and then it just went ping when it was finished.
That's it.
That was annoying enough, but this one has every button. You've got to set the power with something. The door's annoying to open, and everything beeps. And then when it's finished the time, it makes these 4 loud beeps, and it's unnecessary. I've got to find out where that is so that I can block it with some blue tack.
Yes, I'm like you though, Steve. I don't like things that go beep all the time.
No.
Especially when you press them. Beep, 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 beep.
It's like your phone. I switch all that off.
Yeah, me too.
I don't like the beeps, but then I'm old, so
Well, that's true. That is very true.
So the microwave broke, yes.
But we managed to sort that out because we got a replacement, which was Mr. Steve's mum's. But then last week, something worse happened. The thing that we use all the time, the thing that saves so much effort, decided to break. It now no longer works. The dishwasher. I think of all the things in the kitchen to make your life easier, I think the dishwasher is the best machine in the house. It is wonderful because no one wants to wash the dishes. It is so boring and laborious. It is a horrible thing to have to do, to be honest with you.
We were horrified.
Horrified. And guess what?
We tried everything to get it to work. Nothing worked.
No, it's broken.
So in the end, Mr. Duncan had to don his rubber gloves and sit by the sink and wash them the old-fashioned way. But I'll tell you something, Mr. Duncan.
Yes?
That's broken, but then it is 40 years old.
Well, I think it might even be older than that because it is one of those very old dishwashers, a really old machine. And again, it's a very simple machine. It just has one thing that you turn around and that's it. But modern technology, it has lots of buttons and lights and sounds. So to be honest with you, I'm not looking forward to having a new dishwasher because I know that as soon as we get it, it will take us about 6 months to learn how to use it.
I'm not going to get one. Don't tell Mr. Duncan, but I'm not going to get one. You'll have to wash up forever.
Having said that,
yes,
I have to say last week I did find that I quite enjoyed washing the dishes. Now, I don't know why. I found it rather relaxing. So what I do, or what I did last week, and now there is a pile of dirty dishes in the kitchen waiting for me to wash them. And last week I was doing it and I actually found it quite relaxing, quite therapeutic. So whilst I was washing the dishes, I had a smile on my face and I actually felt quite relaxed. So I did it slowly, carefully, because we don't want to break the dishes, and it wasn't too bad. However, already I'm beginning to feel a little bored washing the dishes because it does take a rather long time. So I have to say, if I had the choice, Steve, I would definitely have a dishwasher.
Well, this, of course, is what we call a first world problem.
Okay.
I.e., that worrying about a dishwasher breaking.
Nobody actually uses that phrase anymore because it's quite offensive.
What is?
The phrase you just said, first world.
People still use that phrase.
Who does?
I hear it all the time. The phrase is meant to convey the fact that if you're living in a rich country, which we are, let's face it, and most people, most of Europe, well, all of Europe, I would say, is wealthy capitalist society.
Okay.
And we've got dishwashers, a lot of us, and a lot of people in the world haven't got dishwashers.
But what I'm saying here, Steve, I'm not arguing here the case, but I am saying that I think if you say the first world, it always sounds like that is much better. And then you might say the third world, which then is kind of looking down.
But I'm not saying that, Mr. Duncan.
I didn't. Oh, I'm just explaining the meaning, Steve.
Yes.
That's why we're here.
Good, yes.
So the first world is normally modern or wealthy countries, and then they say the third world. But I have to say, I think nowadays it does sound a little patronising,
I think it's actually a criticism of rich capitalist countries.
Okay.
Because you're saying that they're worrying and moaning about these stupid things.
Well, but yes, I think you misunderstand. I'm on about the actual phrase "first world" and "third world," not the phrase you said, but actually using those.
I hear people use it all the time, Mr. Duncan. I'm sure.
I still think these days that it's somehow.
It's not a criticism of anybody.
No,
it's a comment on societies like England, America, where we have all the mod cons.
Yeah, but it's also about being rich, isn't it?
It's a criticism that we would worry about these silly things when in fact we can just put on our rubber gloves and wash them anyway.
Yes.
So I'm not going to get a new one, Mr. Duncan.
No.
You are going to wash up forever. I'll tell you something else that was good, washing up by hand, because when you use a dishwasher, you tend to live out of the dishwasher. Now, what I mean by that is that all the plates go in there and the knives and forks.
Yes.
And when the dishwasher cycle is finished, how many people actually put everything away back into its cupboards, in the drawers? So you just, when you want a spoon or a knife, you go into the microwave. I
suppose the microwave.
Into the dishwasher.
Yes. By the way, don't put your knives and forks in the microwave. Like Mr. Steve
very good.
Please don't do that.
Yes,
but the dishwasher, definitely.
Yes, and Beatrice says it doesn't make sense for one person, which is true. I mean, we've only got one because it was here when we bought the house.
Well, I think we would have one anyway, though, wouldn't we?
I don't know, would we? Yeah, I mean, there's only two of us. It's actually really, if you just do things as you go along, not having one for the last week or two has made me realise do we really need one? But
we don't, you see, because now in the kitchen there is a huge pile of dishes and plates, all dirty.
Well, that's because you haven't been pulling your finger out, Mr. Duncan. I'll have to get the whip out.
Explain.
And, put your rubber gloves on, Mr. Duncan. In fact, I know, I'll do the live stream, you go in and do the dishes. And then you can come back when you're finished.
No, I like to keep my viewers and subscribers.
True. What could happen if you go away? I could say all sorts of things. It will get you instantly taken down. Thank you, Surendra, for your nice comments about our tone. It's nice to have positive feedback. Yes. So thank you very much for that.
The tone is great, but it's just the content. Could you improve the content?
Fine.
Many people are saying.
We aim to do that. And Rajnish from India, Ali from Morocco. Hello to you. Hello to you both.
Good.
And Hello to everyone, of course, but I'm not I'm not taking favourites here. Sometimes with the live stream goes past very quickly,
Yes.
and I have to pick out certain things. So I don't feel offended if I don't mention you.
No.
But of course, if you say make a compliment, I'm more likely to mention your comment because I'm so vain.
Yes. I think so. Definitely. Today, by the way, we have some interesting things to talk about. We are looking at words and phrases connected to stand, sit, lie, and lean. All of that coming up a little bit later on.
So that's what we're talking about, Malak. Malak was just asking, what are we talking about? And we're talking about, what was it? What did you say, Mr. Duncan? Lie.
Words and phrases connected to sit, stand, lie, and lean.
And lean. Yes, there we go. Stay tuned.
There are quite a few of them, in fact. Here's another one, Steve. Here's another word, because I love English words. You may have noticed I like English words very much. Here is a word that, I don't know, I think a lot of people have been using recently. And the word is now appearing on the screen, Mr. Steve. So we are using this as a phrase to bear a grudge. Now, in that sentence, there are two words that are quite interesting. Well, first of all, the word bear. We often think of bear as that large, hairy animal. But of course, the word bear can also mean other things as well, can't it?
B-A-R-E, spelt slightly differently. Sounds the same. Homophone. had to think about that before I said it. If something is bare, it means it's exposed. A bare bottom, for example, or a bare arm.
Yes, that's the other spelling.
That's the other spelling. Well, bear, yes, it could be, a forest creature. A big bear, a scary bear living in the forest is another meaning with the same spelling. I think I'm correct there, Mr. Duncan.
Yes. Well, in this sense, I didn't realise that there were many different sizes of bear. Now, when I say bear, I mean the big grizzly animals covered in fur. But I didn't realise there were so many different types. So I always assume that the bear is always big with large claws. But apparently there are lots of other types of bear that are very small or much smaller. So I was quite surprised to find out that last week. I was watching an interesting documentary. The word bear can also mean stand or withstand something. Something you are able to carry. Something you can withstand. It's a great word. So to bear something is to take on a certain type of emotion, something that has now become part of your personality or something you have now decided to take into your character. You bear a grudge. And then we have the word grudge, which is also a great word, grudge. This is something that a lot of people do, I think, as they go through life, don't they, Steve?
Yes. Now, it's interesting you should talk about that. By the way, you can, just finishing off on what you were saying, another thing you can bear is responsibility. For example, like a president will bear responsibility, or a chief executive officer of a company bears the responsibility. It's their responsibility to take those decisions and make those difficult decisions, and not everyone can do it. So holding a grudge, it means that if somebody does something that you deem to be disrespectful to yourself, upsetting, somebody does something to upset you, disrespect you, diss you, to use the modern, you'd use it that way, wouldn't you? You could shorten it to diss. somebody does something and then you don't forget it. It stays inside you, and then every time you think about that person forever, or for whatever period of time, it could be a week, a month, you will hold that grudge against them, and you won't like them because that's what they've done. They might have made fun of you in front of a group of friends. They might have ridiculed you, or shown you up. Your boss might have said, "You're stupid, you stupid person," in front of the rest of your colleagues, and then you bear a grudge, and probably you're looking for revenge. From that point on, you won't like that person, and you will hold it like a bitterness inside you.
So to bear a grudge is to hold a bitter feeling towards someone, or of course towards something as well. Maybe a company. You might bear a grudge against your local supermarket if they stop selling your favourite vegetable. Something like that. So to hold a bitter feeling towards someone,
yes,
normally as a response.
You might bear a grudge against the local council because they fine you for going 1 mile an hour over the speed limit, which you think is very unfair. Normally, a grudge comes from something that you feel is unfair. You feel you shouldn't have been treated in that way. It was unfair. Somebody spoke to you in a disrespectful way. It was unfair. You got fined for something which you think was unfair, like I did get a parking fine.
Yes.
But just because I forgot to put my registration into a keypad inside a doctor's surgery, I got a parking fine. So I now bear a grudge against that surgery because they didn't tell me that I needed to do that, and they just introduced. So it's bitterness, but of course that can be very bad for you, can't it?
Would there be another word we can use?
What's that?
Instead of grudge, you bear a grudge.
Like a loathing that you've got on the screen there.
Yes, loathing. So you might
Hatred.
You might hold a grudge. To hold a grudge, again, something that you are keeping inside. You hold a certain emotion. You have that feeling quite often deep inside. So I would say bearing a grudge or holding a grudge is a type of loathing. Yes, that's a good way of describing that. Or maybe even just basically hatred towards someone. So you might have a grudge towards them for a particular reason. And as Steve just rightly said, something that one person does to you, you then might feel bad about it.
Yes.
Or annoyed.
Vitas has put up a explanation here. Grudge, a persistent feeling of ill will or resentment resulting from past insult or injury. Yes, you hold a resentment against a person because, they might not even be aware. Sometimes people make jokes, don't they? Sometimes there might be an obvious reason for you to hold a grudge. Maybe somebody beat you in a race and you were a bad loser. Maybe somebody beat you to a promotion at work. Somebody got promoted above you and you thought that you were more eligible than they were for that post, and you bear a grudge either against that person or the person that promoted them. A feeling of resentment towards somebody, which of course is quite unhealthy. Let's face it. Any of these unresolved conflicts are bad for you because they're probably causing you internal stress. You're going over and over in your mind. You might lose sleep over it. So, I'm saying that, but I am the sort of person who does bear a grudge.
Yes,
against people.
I was about to say, if there is one person I know who is very good at bearing a grudge. Now, I'm not saying that I never do that, because there are people who I bear a grudge towards, but normally for a very good reason. But Mr. Steve, he can really hold a grudge. I always remember there was one particular time, I always remember when we were going to the local farmers market, and the lady who was serving Mr. Steve the lady who was serving Mr. Steve gave him the change, some money back, but one of the coins was fake.
A fake coin.
It was counterfeit. It was a fake coin, or I think actually it was a foreign coin. It wasn't British money or English money. It wasn't pence or pennies.
It was a 50p piece, Mr. Duncan. I remember it. It was 10 years ago to this day.
Yes.
And yes, she gave me change, and she would have known full well that she was giving me a fake 50p coin. And ever since that day, I never went back to that farmer's market. I said, right, Mr. Duncan, I'm not going back there for 5 years. And I think I stuck to that because I felt I bore a grudge against her, because she deliberately passed on to me a fake coin.
Yes,
somebody had passed it on to her.
I am willing to agree with Steve here, because I think sometimes they do that. If a shopkeeper receives fake money, they will try their best to give it back to the customer somewhere.
Well, I also a similar story with a shop.
Sorry, can I just explain? But for Steve, this one small incident led to him just staying away completely from the farmer's market.
They're out. They're cut out of my life. That's it. Once you cross me, that's it. You're out. I mean, a similar thing happened with another shop. See, we're running out of shops to go to in our local area, because I keep bearing grudges.
Yes.
So we went to this other shop, and we bought things from this shop. And we put them in the boot of the car. And then we went round the corner because we wanted to get something from somewhere else. We were only like 5 minutes. And when we came back, the owner of the shop ran out and accused us of parking illegally on his ground, which we weren't. The limit was half an hour. We were only 5-10 minutes. And he said, you're using... and he shouted out in front of other people in the car park.
He was definitely trying to humiliate us.
He was trying to humiliate us.
But the thing is, he didn't realise that we had just been in his shop.
He didn't know.
And we went around his shop, and we were actually regular customers.
And we'd bought something that day. In fact, I showed him the things that we'd bought, and he was then tried to backtrack and apologise, but it was too late. Too late for me. I've never been back. Never.
No.
And I will never go back. No. Mr. Duncan sometimes goes in there.
I go in there because... Not because I forgive them, but because sometimes they have things that the other shops don't have, so I have no choice. And I'm not going to mention the name of the shop. We're not going to say Nisa.
Let's just say they sell petrol as well.
Steve, can I just...
Overinflated.
Steve?
Yes?
I'm sure you're going deaf. I'm actually talking still.
Well, anyway, we used to spend, Mr. Duncan.
Steve, for goodness, I'm trying to say something.
Go on then.
just take a breath. I'm not saying that is the Nisa. It's not the Nisa garage on Bridgenorth Road in Muchwen. It's not that one.
But I will never go back there. Yes. So that's an example of bearing a grudge. Well, two examples. There's only one shop left we can actually go to in Muchwenlock now for groceries, because all the others I bear grudges against. And the thing is, it's stupid really, because that caused me a lot of distress at the time.
Yes.
I felt very upset about it.
You do, but
I'd
that's...
spent a lot of money in that shop.
Don't
over
you
the
think,
years.
Steve, don't you think that might also be slightly your problem? Because sometimes maybe these things come, people do things, they do stupid things, and so sometimes maybe eventually you will just let it go and move on with your life. But you're not very good at that.
You see, it's creating as I'm recalling that story now, I'm getting anxious and annoyed. And that's the danger, of course. You've got to try and this is part of my New Year resolutions, to try and let go all this past.
Anyway,
all this past nonsense, because that person probably doesn't even remember us anymore.
Well, no, it was.
I'm the one that's suffering, not them.
Can I just say, it was during COVID, so we are now going back about 4 years. So this is 4 years ago.
I'll never go back.
This particular incident happened. But Mr. Steve does quite often hold a grudge. What about you out there in YouTube land? Do you ever find yourself in a situation where you might hold a grudge, or you bear a grudge? You have that thing and you just can't let it go. I'm not saying that I'm innocent, because sometimes as well I can sometimes hold a grudge against someone, and when I do it, I can cut people out without even trying, with very little effort, whoever it is, whether it's a friend, family member, anyone. I can just cut them out, and that's it. If they cross the line, if they do something against me, if something they do is unforgivable, that's it. They're gone
forever.
No
way back.
But normally there's a very good reason for it.
Yes. Christina says, I never thought Steve could hold a grudge. Surprise, surprise. Christina says, I can hold a grudge for a short time, then I forget. You see, that's the healthy thing to do. And that's what I'm moving forward. I'm going to do that. You've got to just let these things go, because it does create a lot of internal stress.
Yes.
If you do, because these things over the years, they pile on top of the other, one grudge upon another grudge, and then you turn into a wreck, emotional wreck.
That type of negative thinking is also something that can build up, and the more you do it, the more damage it causes. So sometimes it is best to just let something go.
Yes, Christina, just let it go. And this is what I'm trying to do. You should think of that person that bore that grudge. Send them some love. Forgive them for whatever you perceive was their transgression, and just let them go.
There's a good word.
Transgression.
Transgression. Yes. A person who commits a transgression, it means they do something bad towards another person. Maybe they make a mistake, or they do something that is harmful to another person. So they're transgression. I like that word, Steve. That's a good one.
If you transgress against somebody, it means you do something wrong, or or it's perceived. Perceived transgression, or you could say something that they. Yeah, if you transgress, it means you do something wrong or bad.
Yes. We often refer to it as a transgression. Anyway, we're going to take a quick break. I'm going to drink some water, and then we will be back, and we are going to do a little bit more of this. In fact, today we are going to look at words and phrases connected to stand, sit, lean, and lie. All of that coming up in a few moments from now.
I'm a big boy now.
English Addict. Oh, by the way, next week we are going to give you the details of the 2025 English Addict Rendezvous. Oh. We are back with you live. We are live right now on YouTube. It is myself, Mr. Duncan, that's me by the way, and also we have Mr. Steve, Mr. Steve, Mr. Steve. Apparently, animals, pets, can also hold grudges, which I think is a very interesting observation. It is true, yes. I think animals can also hold grudges, especially towards humans. I have a lot of animals around here, mainly dogs, who have a grudge against me. I don't know why.
Another word for transgression is a sin.
Oh.
So somebody's put that on. Alexander put that on, so thank you. Yes. I thought as I was saying it, it's a synonym of sin. Because that word is used a lot in religious terms, a transgression.
Yes.
It means that you've committed a sin.
Yes, you're going against the holy word.
Exactly, yes. But you can also use it to try and describe people who do wrong against you.
Well, of course, we use the word sin quite often, don't we? So
yes,
I suppose the word sin is used sometimes in various contexts when we are showing that a person is going against a certain rule. But you are right, Steve. Quite often they are religious rules.
Yes, your priest might ask you if you've transgressed. If you go for confession, if you're a Catholic.
My mother told me not to transgress. She said it makes you go blind.
Right, okay.
English Addict is with you today, and we are live now from England, the birthplace of the English language. Next week, as I mentioned, we are going to give you all the details of the 2025 English Addict Rendezvous, roughly when we are doing it and where it will be, because we've had to make a few changes, but we are still going to be in Paris. So that I can say, I think we've already mentioned this anyway. It's going to be in Paris, and we will be giving you some more details next Sunday. So make sure you are ready for that, because we are looking forward to meeting up in
Maybe
person.
before, we were hoping to tell you today the exact date, but there were a few sort of niggly details that around flights and hotels that we just need to sort out. I was hoping to sort it out on Friday, but we weren't able to.
Anyway, Steve,
so hopefully
that doesn't matter.
Well, I'm just explaining.
Yes.
But yeah, the exact date will be announced shortly.
Next Sunday, all will be revealed, and of course, like we normally do, Steve, there will be maybe a group that we will set aside, and then you can join that group, and then we will give you all of the actual details. But next Sunday we will tell you roughly when we will be in Paris. So that is quite exciting. And I have to say, can I just say, I really feel as if we need a break, to be honest, even though we've just had Christmas. But we were quite busy, weren't we?
Over Christmas.
Yes.
Yes, well, we did a live stream on Christmas Day and on New Year's Day. So, yes, we were quite busy. I mean, I didn't do much. I just sat here and sort of talked.
Yes.
But Mr. Duncan had to do all the preparation.
Yes. It didn't...
So, yes, I mean, you never really... I mean, in most people's jobs, if you work for somebody else, you get a break, don't you? You get a proper holiday.
Yes.
A week, you might get four weeks holiday a year or 25 days or something. And then you can forget about work. But Mr. Duncan, because he works for himself, and a lot of you may well have your own business or work for yourself, it's very difficult to actually take a break, because if you're not working, you're not earning. So, mind you, having said that, Mr. Duncan loves what he's doing.
Yes, and technically it isn't a business. I have to run it like a business, but the only difference is this business that I run isn't very profitable, because I do everything for free. So I give everything away. So that's one of the slight problems, but that's the reason also why I have to do it all the time. So YouTube never gives me a holiday. They never say, "Oh, hello, Mr. Duncan, you can take a holiday now, have a rest." They never do that. I have to do this all the time. And Christmas, it was a busy period, to be honest. Vitas says, denoting a sin that is not regarded as depriving the soul of divine grace. Oh, yes. Well, I suppose if you take it to its absolute meaning, I suppose that would be the way you would sort of look at it, I suppose. Sin. I always remember that great Pet Shop Boys song from the 1980s, "It's a Sin." Brilliant.
Giovanni is having a piece of fruit cake and a cup of tea. We've got to wait 40 minutes before we can have ours.
Yes. We only have 40 minutes left. Today we are looking at an interesting group of words. So today I thought we would look at a group of words, have them together, and look at the ways in which they can be used. By the way, fruitcake can also be a phrase for a crazy person. If we describe someone as a fruitcake, it means they are a little bit crazy. I don't like fruitcake, but I know some people do. Giovanna is also having a nice cup of tea with it as well. Today, Steve, we are looking at words and phrases connected to not just one word. No, we've decided to go all the way today. We are looking at words connected to stand, sit, lean, and also lie. Very interesting words, because some of these words can actually be used in more than one way, which I actually find quite interesting itself. So we will look first of all at, the first word, which is stand. To stand. When we think of standing, you often think of a person standing, just like the little pictures underneath me. A person is standing upright. Something is upright. And of course it can refer to anything really, can't it, Steve? It can refer to an object. An object can also stand up. A person might stand if they are upright, standing on their feet, to be in an upright position. Of course, we can also use it as a noun to describe something that you use to support another thing, a type of stand. Quite often in my studio, I use stands to put things on top, so they have some sort of solid support.
Yes.
So
if
the
you
words...
were giving a presentation, you might want a stand to put your papers on, or a stand to put a vase on, something like that. Or you could stand for an election, couldn't you? That's another way of using it.
To put yourself forward in a campaign, normally a type of election campaign. That is true. So stand can be used in many different ways. To stand up, we stand up as the action. You are doing it. To stand up. Stand up. And as the past, we can say to be stood. You are stood in a certain place. You are stood at the door. You are stood in the classroom. To stand up or to be stood in a certain place. It sounds odd as a past word, but it is definitely it. To be left standing, Mr. Steve. This is something that happens a lot in my life, by the way. I find myself quite often left standing. To be left behind, Mr. Steve, or to be left alone waiting.
Yes, if somebody gets off to a good start on something, maybe a project at work, maybe they're running. Somebody might say, and you've been left behind. Somebody might say, "Oh, they've left you standing." The implication being that they are achieving far beyond what you're doing. So two people at work could be going for a target of some description, say it's in sales, but one colleague is beating you. Your manager might say, well, they've left you standing. Or a colleague might say, it just means that, you haven't moved. The implication here is movement along a pathway of some objective. And you've just been stood in one place and the other person has moved away from you in whatever that endeavour is. God, they left you standing. It could be a race, you could be running, you could be cycling, but it could also be in a job in terms of how well you're doing in that job compared to your colleagues.
I suppose another phrase you could use, Steve, is to be left in the dust.
Left in the dust. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you could use that in exactly the same way. I mean, in a way, you could say that you could use it as a synonym for the word we used earlier to bear a responsibility. To stand responsibility, you could use that in a similar way, couldn't you, Mr. Duncan?
Yes.
I think, to withstand something.
Yes. So you have been left to I don't know, to run something or to take charge of something. You've been left standing. Or of course, to be left alone waiting as well. You can be left standing outside a shop or a cinema. Maybe you were going on a date and the other person did not turn up. We can say that you were left standing, unfortunately. You were left waiting.
Or you were stood up.
Oh, yes. I like that one.
Left standing or stood up. It's a negative phrase, really, that sort of gives the implication that you're not performing as well as you should do if you're left standing.
Yes. Maybe in a racing, I don't know, a type of race, maybe two racing cars. The one is faster and you were left standing. Or at least it appears as if you were. To stand up for yourself. Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
Maybe it's school. Perhaps there is someone who is picking on you. They are a bully. And one day they come up and they want to have a fight. Well, maybe you have to stand up for yourself. You have to defend yourself. You have to fight back to stand up for yourself. So maybe a situation where you have to assert your own power or your force against another person who is, let's face it, they are being quite mean to you as well.
Yes, your parents, you might be facing bullying at school when you were a child. And you went back crying to your parents because you were so upset. Your father or mother might say to you, you've got to stand up for yourself. You've got to, face that opponent that person and give them as good as they get. Give them as good as you've got. Stand up for yourself, because the implication being that if you don't, you'll always be underachieving, or you won't resolve issues that happen to you.
Yes.
In your life. Stand up for yourself. It's a lesson that we all have to learn. Often we have to do this at work, don't we? There's a work meeting, and if you've got a particular point of view or an idea that you want to put across, and other people might be criticising you or pointing out all the negatives, then you might want to assert yourself. You might want to stand up for yourself and say, no, I believe in this because, and you give the reasons, instead of just saying, all right then, oh no, all right then, if you don't think it's a good idea. Somebody might, well, come on, stand up for yourself. If you believe in this, then, start putting forward the reasons why.
Another good phrase, of course, is to fight your corner. To fight
Yes.
your corner. So you are standing up for yourself. Now, can I just say that Palmyra has come up with an interesting word, bystander. A person who is a bystander. A bystander is someone who is around, standing around, normally something happening, and quite often that person will not get involved with what is happening. So there might be many situations where something is happening and other people just stand around,
watching.
They don't help, they don't get involved. We describe them as bystanders.
There could be a crime being committed, and people, or there could be a car accident, a fire, and people tend to gather, don't they, when these sort of unusual events happen. And you might find reporters coming along to the scene of a crime or a fire or something like that, or something bad that's happened, and they'll talk to the bystanders.
Yes.
So the people that were not involved in the actual thing that was happening, but were there just watching and not passively, and not taking any action one way or the other. I mean, sometimes they couldn't. I mean, if there's a house on fire, for example, there's probably not a lot you can do until the fire service come along.
Yes.
But
I mean, I think it may be a situation where you can't help, or maybe something you just want to watch for entertainment, even.
Because a bystander at a boxing match, people could be fighting each other, couldn't they? And you might just be we've all seen that, haven't we? People fighting at work, shouting at each other in the street, in a pub, and then you stand back and watch what's happening. You're a bystander. It's not necessarily a negative thing.
No.
Although in the instance that Saturina mentioned, I think it was Saturina, wasn't it?
No.
Palmyra. Then yes, the bystanders there, people who did nothing. I mean, they might have been fearful in that situation. They might have been fearful for their own lives.
Yes.
So there might have been reasons. I mean, because if you get yourself involved in certain situations, you might become a martyr, and you might become a martyr, which is somebody who usually die as they're supporting or protecting somebody else. Interestingly enough, in the Bible, my name is Stephen, and Stephen was the martyr, wasn't he? The person that gave up his life to I don't know exactly what he was doing, but in the Bible, but probably protecting somebody else. Give up your life for a cause. But anyway, that's nothing to do with what we're saying here. But you know what it's like, Mr. Duncan, when I get talking,
I have no idea what that is connected to. To stand your ground. So this is very similar to the previous one, actually. To stand up for yourself, to stand your ground, means to stay firm. Do not give in. So it is slightly different from the last word, the last phrase that we had. To stand your ground means to stay firm. You are not going to move away. You are not going to change your opinion about something. You stand your ground. You don't give in. You will stay firm. You stand your ground. I like that one.
Yes, Giovanni says that I've learnt recently, if I don't stand up for myself when I'm trying to speak English and let myself down with shyness or fear, I won't be able to live my English dream. Yeah, yes, that's exactly. That's slightly different, but it's definitely connected. Yes, that you just need that. That's probably about assertiveness. But yes, stand your ground. If somebody is, for example, interrupting you at work, you're trying to put your point of view across, and somebody keeps interrupting you. Stand your ground. Just keep putting your, just firmly put your point across in an assertive rather than an aggressive manner. There's quite a difference between being assertive and being aggressive.
I'm just agreeing with Mr. Steve there. Do you like that? Here's another one, Steve. You stand in for someone. To stand in for someone means to take someone's place. So maybe if someone is on duty, you might come along and take their place. So they will go. Maybe they leave. Their shift has finished. So you will stand in for that person, or quite likely they are just going for a short break. So they will go for a break and you will stand in for that person, to stand in, to take someone's place, normally temporarily for a short period of time. So maybe if a person is hosting a show, for example, so maybe one week I am unable to do this. So I know this is never going to happen, by the way. Maybe Mr. Steve will stand in for me. So instead of me being here, it will be Mr. Steve presenting English Addict.
Yes, well, yes, as you say, that's never going to happen. But yes, you might go to see a show and you're expecting a star. You're going to see this show because there's a particular star going to be in this show. And then when you get there, that particular person is ill on that night and there's a stand-in actor or performer that will do that job temporarily, as Mr. Duncan says. You might stand in for somebody at work. Somebody might be sick at work and your boss phones up and says, can you stand in for Graham? He's not very well today. Can you come in? So you're standing in for them. Not literally standing, although you might be if you're working in a shop, for example.
Yes.
But the phrase is used to say that you are taking the place of somebody,
yes,
as Mr. Duncan's saying.
It is being
temporarily.
Used. It is being used figuratively in that sense.
That's it.
Of course,
yes.
in a movie, a person might stand in for an actor. Maybe if they are performing a very dangerous stunt, maybe they have to fall out of a window, or something else that's very dangerous. So maybe a person will stand in for that actor. They will do the dangerous thing instead of the actor to protect them so they don't get hurt and injured. To stand or not stand something. So if you can stand something or maybe not stand something, to be able to bear. So here we are again, we are using the word bear, which we used earlier. To stand something or not stand. So something you are able to bear, something you cannot bear. You might also say tolerate and not tolerate. Something you feel comfortable with and something you don't feel comfortable with.
Yes, you might have, I don't know, you might have injured yourself and you might be in pain, severe pain. You might have cut yourself or broken your leg or something like that. Can you stand the pain? You might say, I can't stand it. It's too painful. I just can't stand it. It means it's so bad you're not able to bear that inconvenience or that hurt or that pain. You might have lost a loved one. There's another example. You find that very hard to bear. You just can't stand it. Or you might be a person that you don't like. I just can't stand them. I can't stand him.
A lot of people say that about me. They say that Mr. Duncan, that Englishman, I can't stand him.
Yes. Or some people might say, can you stand him? Shall we invite Julie to the party? And somebody might say, I can't stand her. But somebody else might say, well, I can stand them, so we'll invite them. Bear them, stand them.
To stand something. To be able.
One's saying that they can't stand you, Mr. Duncan. Surely not.
No. Well, they normally don't tell me. They just choose not to watch with their finger.
I can't stand it any longer.
Yes.
If it's a situation that's upsetting you and you've put up with it, you've kept quiet, and suddenly no more, you lose your temper. I can't stand this anymore. Get out, all of you.
Okay.
Something like that. Yes, that's when you would use that.
I love it when Mr. Steve gets excited. To sit. Here we go, Steve. Here's the next one. To sit. You can see sitting down. Mr. Steve likes to sit. I like to stand. So quite often when I'm presenting my live streams or doing anything, in fact, I will stand. Mr. Steve likes to sit. To sit, to relax in a sitting position. You are sat. So we often say sat. So that is actually what you are doing as you are being looked at. You are sat in a chair. You are sat in the corner of Mr. Duncan's studio.
Or if you've got a pet dog, you might tell them to sit.
Yes.
Fido, sit.
As an
Bad dog.
As an instruction.
Or sometimes if you're being, if someone's annoying you in a room, you might just say, sit. Because they're annoying you and you want them to shut up.
So to sit in a chair or even sit on a sofa or couch. So in British English, we normally say sofa. In American English, they might say couch. And of course, here we can also say settee as well. Settee is another word for sofa or couch as well. Sit in a relaxed way.
Do you say sit in a chair or on a chair, says Christine.
That's very good.
Very good question.
It does depend on whether the surface is flat or whether it comes around you. So you might sit in a chair. Quite often people will say sit in a chair if it is comfortable. So
yes,
you might say that Mr. Steve is sitting in his chair because it comforts him, it comes around. But if you are just sitting on a very flat, hard surface, you sit on something.
Yes, I'm sitting in this chair because the chair has arms here and I'm literally inside the chair. Whereas if I was just on a bench, I would be sitting on the bench because it would be flat. I would be on top of it. It's not in it.
It's very similar to the argument about a boat or a ship. So are you on a boat or are you in a boat? Technically, you could say both, but if you are in a boat, normally you are sitting actually in the deep part of a small rowing boat. So you are in a boat. However, if you are on a very large vessel and you are walking and you have lots of space, you are on a ship. However, if you go below the deck, then we can say that you are in the ship.
Yes.
So that there are subtle differences, small differences between those things.
You get in a car, but you get on an escalator because it's flat. You're not getting inside. The in is short for inside. So that's the way to look at it, really.
And another one. Here we go, Steve. We are looking at some phrases here.
Good question. Thank you.
We have some phrases coming up in a moment. You are sitting down. You are seated. So again, if you are sitting on a chair, we can say that you are seated.
Mr. Steve is seated. He's in a seated position.
So the position of actually sitting. And we have some phrases now, Steve, some interesting phrases here coming up. To sit on one's hands. You sit on one's hands. Or you might say that a person is sitting on their hands. To hesitate or to be reluctant to do something. In action. So when we say in action, we mean a person is doing nothing. Maybe they don't want to do it. Maybe they can't do it. Or maybe they just want to push away their responsibility. They just sit on their hands.
Yes, it's sort of almost synonymous with you're putting off doing something as well. If you're, what's another word for putting off doing something? There's a word for that.
Postpone?
Postpone. Yeah, I'm trying to think of it. Yeah, you've got a task to do. Maybe you want to decorate a room and you don't want to do it, and your partner might come in and say, "Stop sitting on your hands. Get up and decorate this room."
Yes.
It just means that, because normally if you're doing something, your arms are doing something, aren't they? If you're performing a task, you're normally using your hands. So if you're literally sitting on your hands, it means you're not doing anything, because you can't do anything because you're sitting on your hands.
They are inactive.
They are inactive. So it is literally meaning you can't do anything because you might not be sitting on your hands. You might have your hands here.
Yeah, again,
but the phrase is used to highlight the fact that you're being very lazy.
Yes,
and procrastinate.
It's figurative.
That's the word I was looking for. To procrastinate.
Ooh.
To put off doing something.
You
sit on your hands.
My mother told me not to procrastinate because it makes you go blind.
Yes, and
to hesitate, to be reluctant to do something.
Your boss might say. Your boss might come into the room and say, "What are you lot doing all sitting on your hands? Get to work."
Yes.
It's just a phrase that indicates that you're probably being a bit lazy.
Moving on. To sit in on something. So again, this is a figurative phrase. You sit in on something. We can say that you are sitting in or you sit in on something. Quite often, this phrase is used when we want to say that a person is attending something or going somewhere, but they won't be directly involved. They will just be observing that thing. Perhaps one day one of Mr. Steve's bosses will just go with him when he's working, but they will just sit in. They won't be directly involved in any way.
Yes, we've all been in meetings, maybe at work. We might have been asked that at the last minute somebody might say, your manager, "Oh, can you sit in on this meeting? You don't have to do anything. I just want you to sit in and just observe and then report back to me what's happened." Your boss might not have time to go to the meeting, might have another meeting to go to. They might say, "Well, can you sit in on this for me?" You just sit there silently maybe make the odd cut, because the other people in the room might not know you that well. Sometimes it can be used as like a passive-aggressive thing.
Yes, very good.
At work, they might get somebody, a boss, high up in the company. You've all got a meeting, and they might sit in on the meeting, but they will intimidate everybody else because they're there. They're, a high, director or something. They might not say anything, but they'll sit in just to see how you're all working together.
We can also use that as a way of demonstrating or showing that some sort of protest is taking place. A type of sit-in might be a group of people who are staying in one place as a protest. So that also is an interesting use as well.
Sit-in, yes. Literally, you are all sitting down, protesting.
Moving on, to sit something out. So this might even be the opposite of what we just said. To sit something out means you take a short break from something. You might pause for a short time, normally during some sort of activity. So maybe a lot of people are dancing in a disco. I can't remember the last time I went to a disco, a very long time ago. And maybe they are playing some really good songs, lots of great 80s music. But then you feel a little bit tired. And so before the next song starts to play, you will say, oh, wait there, I'm going to sit this one out. I'm going to sit it out. To sit something out means to take a short break from something. Normally it's a type of pause. You stop something because you want to have a break or a rest.
Yes. And we've got some other examples in the live chat. Saturino, to sit an exam. Yes, that means you're literally sitting down, answering questions on a sheet to try and pass an exam, for example. Or yes. And Luciano says, I need you to sit on this information. Yes, if you sit on some information, it means that you are just holding on to that information, maybe guarding it.
Or hiding it.
Will you sit on this information? Don't say anything. I've told you something here that we're going to make half the sales force redundant, but I don't want you to just sit on that information. Don't you tell anyone. So, yeah, thank you for that. To sit on the fence.
Yeah, that's a good one, Beatrice.
Beatrice, thanks for that.
To sit on the fence, to be undecided. You don't take any side. You keep your judgment to yourself. You sit on the fence. We've got to move on now, Steve, because we are running out of time.
We are.
Lean. Here we go, Steve. Lean. And lean is just below Mr. Steve. You can see just there the word lean. To be at an angle, normally against something or towards something or even away from something. So you might lean forward. You might lean back. You might lean over. You might lean in. You might lean out. So there are many ways of using the word lean in that situation, and there might also be some other uses as well.
You might lean on a lamppost.
Yes.
As in the famous song. I'm leaning on a lamppost on the corner of the street in case a certain little lady comes by from can't remember the name of that show.
Oh. Good.
Well-known Rodgers and Hammerstein show.
It would be Me and My Girl.
Me and My Girl. Thank you, Mr. Duncan.
So, can I just say, I am not an expert on theatre. Mr. Steve is. It seems...
I can't sing it, can I? Because
no, don't sing it. Don't sing it.
We might get a copyright strike.
Yes, please. Here's a phrase using the word lean. To lean on someone. Oh. So you might pressure or bully someone. So maybe if you are trying to get someone to agree with you, you might have to lean on them a little bit. To lean on someone is to pressure that person, or maybe even intimidate and bully that person. Of course, we can use it positively. To lean on someone is to rely on someone,
Yes.
or to trust someone. You lean on your friend for support.
Yes, exactly. You might. Yeah, exactly. So it can be used positively or negatively. Quite often, I think it tends to be used positively. Can I lean on you, please, in this meeting, to ensure that we actually do get through the agenda and make sure we get some outcomes from this meeting.
Yes. To lean on. Okay, Steve, we've got to move on, Steve.
Yes, you might be sick. You might say, "I need to lean on you for the next week because I'm not going to be very well, and I need your help."
Here's another one. Lean. So lean generally can mean a certain like or a desire. You might lean towards something, and we are using the word here figuratively to show a certain liking or desire for something, a thing you are interested in. You have a leaning towards a certain thing.
Yes.
I have a leaning towards the English language. So you might say that I enjoy it. I like English very much. It's ever so nice.
It means that you're sort of going in the direction of something. You're leaning towards. It could be literally, as Mr. Duncan says, to something that you like doing. You might go to a coffee shop, and somebody might ask you, do you want a cappuccino, flat white, or an Americano? And you might say, not sure. I think I'm leaning towards an Americano. Would be another way you could use that phrase. But yes, to lean. Have a leaning, to have an interest, a bias, one way or the other. A bias could be another.
Yes, maybe political. You might lean towards the left,
yes,
or you might lean towards the right.
Yeah.
You have a leaning towards something. Here's the next one. Oh, now this is an interesting word. Just underneath Mr. Steve's chin, you can see the word lie. Of course, to be in a flat position, prone or prostrate as well. A flat position, prone or prostrate. You have to get that right, you see, because there is another word that's very similar to prostrate. So you are lying flat, normally in a flat or submissive position. Submissive. You are lying down. To lie back. Now, here's an interesting one, Steve. To lie back. Quite often in a situation, if you want a person to relax, you might say just lie back and enjoy the journey. Maybe on a train or an aeroplane, or if you are going on a long journey in a car and Mr. Steve is driving. Steve might say to me, Mr. Duncan, just lie back and enjoy the journey. Take a rest, relax.
Yes, just to lie back, recline, get yourself a cocktail and relax.
Okay.
Take a rest, to lie back.
To lie back.
You might fall asleep, you might not do. You're relaxed.
You just lie back.
By the way, going back to the phrase that you can't stand something, Monte Elia, is that how you pronounce your surname? Sometimes you can't stand Mr. Steve. That is true. even though you're joking. Well, we all have moments.
Who
don't
are you
we?
saying that to?
Monte Egia or Elia.
Who can't stand Mr. Steve?
Well, I can't stand Mr. Duncan. No,
Oh,
they're saying that you don't.
Oh, I see.
You can't stand Mr. Steve.
Can I-
Well, sometimes I can't stand you, Mr.
Yes.
Duncan.
Sometimes we don't speak to each other for minutes.
Just can't stand you. I've just got to go out the room.
Yeah.
Well, you're what it's like with friends.
Where do you think he went this morning? He went off for a walk up the hill just to get away from me.
Yes, I can't stand being in this house any longer. I've got to get out.
Here we go, Steve. So the word lie means to be in a flat position, often confused with the word lay, which of course is to place something down. You lay, you place down a thing. You lie, you lay down something. You might lie on the bed, but you lay on the table. You put things on the table. You are showing that an action is taking place using objects normally. And we are coming towards the end. Oh, that's nice, Steve. That went right in my ear, that did. Oh,
Good.
It's all wet now.
By the way, you didn't on your last slide. I wanted to say something about prostrate. On your last slide,
Anyway,
if you are prostrate, you are crouched down
yes,
in a submissive way
that's it. Or flat.
or flat. To prostrate yourself
Mm,
means to submissively. People used to do that to their leaders, didn't they?
they did.
To their kings or queens, you would prostrate yourself
Mm.
in front of them. Not to be confused with
Not to be confused with prostate.
prostate,
Prostate,
which is
a little part of the male anatomy.
yes. So don't
Which-
get those two mixed up.
No,
Prostrate and prostate
Yes.
are two very different things
yes.
indeed.
You lie down when you are prostrate, and you sit on your prostate.
Yes.
Anyway, Steve, let sleeping dogs lie.
Yes, that means something that relates to what we were saying earlier about bearing grudges. If you don't bear a grudge, then you could say you just let sleeping dogs lie. You don't hold grudges, do you? No, is that the same or is that slightly different? I
Well-
think you could use that in that context.
Normally, it's just not to disturb or to avoid something
Yes.
that might cause a response, normally an angry response. So it's best sometimes not to pursue something or disturb a certain thing,
Right.
maybe to raise a certain topic. It's probably best let sleeping dogs lie.
Yes,
That's-
maybe. Yes. Maybe somebody wanted to talk about a past event that happened that you did used to upset people.
Mm.
Could have been a family argument, something, and then somebody might bring it up and start it in the conversation, but then somebody else might say, "Oh, look, best to let sleeping dogs lie."
Yes. Just
Because it's going to cause. The implication is you're going to cause problems
that's it.
if you start talking about this particular subject.
Just avoid that thing. Stay away. Let's not mention that.
Because the implication being, of course, if there is a dog sleeping and you go and disturb it, it might bite you.
Yes.
So if you were to bring up certain subjects with people or talk about past events, they might bite you figuratively.
That's it.
They might get very upset. So that's where that phrase comes from.
And finally, the word lie can mean untruth, of course. So the word itself can have a completely different meaning. You can tell a lie. A person will lie to another person. To tell a lie or lie as a verb. Lie as a noun, lie as a verb. You are doing it, or it is the actual statement of untruth. And that, guess what, Mr. Steve? That is almost it for today.
We're done for today, Mr. Duncan.
Yes.
It's been very enjoyable. I hope you've enjoyed it too. We've got really sort of down into the subjects quite deeply today. So I hope you found that useful. The explanations, I've enjoyed it. So I'm going to get up off my backside. I'm going to go into a standing position. I'm going to go into the kitchen and make Mr. Duncan a cup of tea and toast him some tea cake. And then we can lie back and relax after the hard work of the live stream.
Well, I wish I could. I still have at least another 3 hours of work to do after
That's
this.
true.
Can you believe that? After I finish this, I actually have to carry on working. So even though the live stream stops, I still have to stand here and do lots of other technical things connected to the live stream. So even though it looks as if I finished, I actually haven't. It's only finished to you.
So thank you everybody for your contributions to the live chat. It's always lovely to see what you've got to say.
Yes.
And to say hello to you, and particularly to all the new people who have made themselves visible on the live chat. So goodbye from me, and I shall see you all next week. Have a lovely week.
Thank you, Mr. Steve. There he goes. Give us a wave. Isn't that great? Everyone loves to see Mr. Steve, even me sometimes. It's time to go. I hope you've enjoyed today's live stream. It's been a busy one. We've had a lot going on, lots of things to talk about. You can watch this again, all of it again, as many times as you want. And yes, there will be captions later on as well. So there will be live captions that have been taken from this live stream, and then it will be turned into a recording and you can watch it as many times as you want. Thank you very much for your company. I will be back with you on Wednesday. Wednesday, we are with you again. Well, Mr. Steve won't be here, but I will anyway. And we will have some more English fun on English Addict. Thank you for watching. See you later. Take care of yourselves. Thank you for your company. And I will see you later as well. And of course, until the next time we meet, you know what's coming next. Whether you are standing, sitting, lying down, or maybe leaning against the wall. You know what's coming next. Ta-ta for now. See you on Wednesday.